Today I'm going to make a berry bowl or small colander. So first we gotta center our clay. I use coning to center clay, so you go up and down a few times. Helps to align the particles, get rid of any air bubbles you might have, and center the clay. And the added benefit sometimes, as I have today, is this clay is a little hard, so I'm able to add some moisture to it as I go up and down. All right. So the first decision you have to make is how big you want your base to be, and that is defined by how big you make the tuna can shape, because you can't make your base of your bowl any bigger than the tuna can shape. Otherwise the bowl will not be balanced. So I like to open up my bowls using my fist. It creates a nice curve on the inside of the bowl, and it's a quick way to open. So there's the nice curve. When making berry bowls, I tend not to press down as hard so that I can have a little extra clay at the base so I can make a taller foot when I trim the bowl. I want it to be able to sit a little bit higher in the little plate that I'm also going to make for this berry bowl. So to get an idea of how much clay you have, you can take a pin tool, put your finger on the pin tool, press down into the clay until you hit the base, put your finger touching the clay, lift out, and then you'll see about how much clay you have. So there's about maybe 3/4 of an inch. I'm not very exact when I do things, so it's whatever kind of foot you want to have. How tall you want it to be. All right, so now let's pull up the cylinder. So the next time you have to make a decision on the making of this bowl is how tall do you make the cylinder? Because the height of the walls will somewhat define the shape that you're making. Because if your walls are really tall, you would get one shape, and if your walls were really short, you'd get a different shape. It also, if you have a particular shape you're going for, you kind of have to find what is that height of wall to get the shape of the bowl that I want. And I think that a lot of that is trial and error and finding what your bowl shape is. Everybody's is different. So this is about the right height for what I want. And I also have to pay attention to the thickness of the walls. As I've said in other videos, when I'm bringing my hands up, I stop pressing when I'm bringing the clay up. Sorry, I stop pressing it about the top 1/3 so that I don't thin out the wall rim too much. So I'm going to clean off the side of this bowl, because unlike with most bowls that I throw, I am actually going to use the rib on the inside, and I'm going to put some decoration on the outside using these ribs that have cutouts in them. So I have 3 that I like to use. They're all a little bit different, as you can see. Today I'm going to use the one that has the biggest curve, makes the biggest rings. So I'm going to line up, put my finger on the inside and line up the rib on the outside, because I want to have 2 rings. I'm going to line up the 3rd little notch with the rim. And you got to be careful. You want to make sure you have some water on the rib, because it does get sticky. And this is a pretty big fat ring and also deep ring, so you have to be careful that you have enough clay in your bowl, otherwise well, like in the last bowl, I didn't have enough, and it just ripped the textured part right off the bowl. So when you get that nice curved ring, you can stop pressing. So that looks Good. And as always, we want to fix up our rim. And in this case, we're going to open the bowl from the inside. So I'm going to take a rib with a curve that's very similar to the curve of the bowl that I'm trying to create. And starting at the top of the cylinder, I'm going to press down and out so that it opens up the rim. Because it's really difficult to make a bowl shape if your cylinder top is not pressed out. It's just hard to press out the rest of the walls. So you really start there. Let's do another one. And I use even pressure as I go down, and one thing you want to be careful of is not to dig with the point in your base, because you know it is pretty pointy. And I think we'll do just one more. Not as much on this one. So I have a nice curve on the inside, but I want to just refine it a little, so I flip the rib over and I use the curve on the rib to just clean it up a little. And I like to compress the base again. And that will take off a little bit of clay when you do that, so it's good that we have extra. And then I'm going to just do one last refining one last time refining with the rib. Okay, and as always, we go back to our rim. At this point, we can take a chamois, make sure it's nice and smooth. And then with our wooden knife, cut that extra clay. So in the next video, I'm going to trim the bowl and put the cutouts in, the holes for the draining, and make a plate. Not exactly sure how many videos that's going to be. I guess it depends on how long it takes. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.